Welcome to 10 Minutes With. It's a podcast for people who want to listen to podcasts but don't have all day. We've got a quick chat with someone you might be interested in learning more about in about 10 minutes. Sanctus Real recently appeared at Kingdom Bound. They're also in concert in Wayland, New York on August 5th. I had a chance to talk to the guys during Heart of the Artist.
They didn't tell us there would be people here.
There are people here!
So this is pretty cool.
We're so excited that you're here. You know, I really have loved this series of songs that you guys have been coming out with lately. It's been one right after another where it's like, yes, I love that, I love that. And one of the things that I really love about your writing is that you don't deny Jesus in it. You know, it's like right there. And so often in Christian music, it's like, oh, we're trying to do something that is really seeker-friendly, but you guys just go for it. Where do you find the inspiration for that?
Oh, thank you. That's awesome. I'll just say something quick, and we can all kind of speak to that. But I think it's very important for us, having done this now for, well, I'll just spill the beans. We're a 90s band.
Hey, that's cool now. That's cool.
We're not trying, yeah, thank you. We're not trying to go back and like try to recreate 90s. We actually physically are a 90s band. And so all these years later, I think our heart is really just to communicate God's heart. And that's the best way we know to do that is being transparent. It goes back to what our name means, Sanctus Real. It means just trying to be real about our faith and real about the things that we struggle with and sharing those things through our lyrics. So when we get into a room to write, more often than not, it comes from conversations. Those conversations kind of lead us in that moment to what we really want to write about and what God's laying on our hearts. And it's not like, hey, we need a song that's upbeat and something that people can dance to. That's not how our songs start. Our songs start with what is God laying on our hearts to share with people. And I thank you for supporting the songs that we have written. And I'm really happy that, yeah, after 20-some years, 25 years, actually it's 26, that we're still here. And you guys, thanks for listening. I hope you guys...
The 90s were like last year, weren't they?
Yeah, well, yeah, thanks to us.
Right?
But seriously, thank you guys for all the support and playing these songs that we've been recording and writing these last few years.
I also want to just mention, I think for us, over the last 8 years, we've come back to this idea over and over again about the way of Jesus and what our calling is. And I say this from stage a lot, but our calling is to look like Jesus in everything we do. Not even to be on a stage. I think God has put us here, but He's put us here so we can have a message. And I think it's important when we start talking about, you know, you mentioned how we find inspiration for bringing Jesus into it. I would say it's because the only thing that works in my belief system is the way of Jesus. And so to not put that in is nearly impossible. Yeah.
So let's go through some of the songs that we've come to love lately of Family Life. Confidence, My God is Still the Same, Today, Tomorrow, and Forever. Dare to Hope. People are loving what you're writing, so I want to thank you for that. Our theme at Kingdom Bound this year is from Romans 15:13. It's hope overflowing. And the idea was really based on the fact that Buffalo has just been through so much, from the snowstorm to the supermarket shooting to Damar Hamlin. It's been like one thing after another. And there was really this sense that the community needed hope. So I'd love to hear from you sometime in your 20-some-odd years career when you have just felt like, despite the circumstances, that hope was overflowing.
Well, that is a interesting statement because right now, our latest song is called "Dare to Hope," and just a brief story is we wrote it because of the school shooting in Nashville. Some of our friends were involved in that, and we spent the day waiting to hear. And it was a rough day because we're sitting by the phone, and we know some bad things had happened. We know that students had been shot. And we found ourselves praying that, you're kind of praying, God, don't let it be our friends, but then you stop yourself and you're like, but it's somebody, right? Like it's almost impossible, right? And our friend David, a really good friend, his kids went there, and about a couple weeks later, we were supposed to write a song with him, and he had canceled every other write. And we reached out to him to see, because we were okay if he wanted to cancel that, because his kids had been in, it was just traumatic. And he said, no, I want to keep our right. I don't know if we'll write a song, but I do know that there will be some healing, because we're good friends. And so I think we got more healing from it than Dave did. And some of the stuff he was talking about was hope. He went to 5 separate funerals, and he was just kind of with tears in his eyes. He was saying how sad they were, but also at the very same time, hope was talked about more than anything else. Hope more than heartache. And Dave is telling us that he saw Jesus way, like he'd never seen before. His words were like the line between the spirit and the natural had thinned, and he saw God everywhere. And I remember sitting there like, oh my goodness, like obviously there's songs in that, but we wrote, and we didn't realize how much we loved this song. We just started writing about hope. And I'm gonna give the mic to Mark here in a second, because Mark wasn't there that day, and we got the demo back from this song, and he heard it for the first time. We had another song lined up to be a single. We kind of had everything, and the gears were in motion, and we just felt heavy in our hearts. Like, you look at society today, and there's not a lot of hope, right? You can put your hope in a lot of things, and I promise you they're going to fail. That's why I was talking about the way of Jesus. But the beauty of who we are, the beauty of what we believe, is that we have hope even past death. Right? It's not just about what he's doing for you now. It's that you could face anything, because you know that this is not the end. And we felt so greatly in our spirit that this was the season where we just needed to remind people we have hope, and we have to be the light that brings hope to a world that doesn't have a lot of hope. So, amen. So Mark, you can tell about the first time you heard it.
I think Dustin's just poking some fun at me, because he likes to see me cry, apparently. Yeah, so Dustin and Chris are like the main songwriters within the band. I play the drums. Do we have any drummers out there? Yeah? How about anybody who likes drummers? Thank you. Okay. Just checking, making sure I'm in the right place. These guys had written this song with our friend David, and I got to hear the demo after it was all done, and it was a crazy thing, because we had a different song completely lined up, recorded, mixed, ready to go to be our next radio single, and then just kind of randomly these guys ended up writing this song. Like Dustin said, it was more of just a get-together with David to really just kind of wrap arms around him and his family and just love on them. These guys weren't even sure if the song they couldn't, it was just the funniest thing. I remember talking to them. They couldn't remember if the song they had written that day was even any good. And it wasn't until after David had wrapped up some loose ends on the demo and sent it to us, and we just realized. They showed it to me, and I made it through the verse and the first chorus, and just God's presence, it was like it just kind of came over me like a waterfall. Like, it just was overwhelming. And I just knew, like, God's done something. He's put something on this song, and it's meant to reach people. And I think the other single's going to have to wait, because this song needs to be heard now. So, and that's the decision we made. But, yeah.
Amen. Thank you. Guys, would you give it up for Sanctus Real one more time?
Find out more about Sanctus Real in concert in Wayland, New York on August 5th when you go to familylife.org and click events. You can also find out more about Kingdom Bound 2024 at kingdombound.org. Did you know that Family Life offers a variety of podcasts? You can get up to date with Family Life news or enjoy family time with Family Life Kids. There's If That Makes Sense, a Family Life original podcast where they talk about what life is really like as a Christian in your 20s. And Terese Talk, a podcast with help for women to better serve their families and community. They're all free and on demand at familylife.org. Just click podcast in the radio menu.